Meeting to order.
Progress.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Review and approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then reviewing the minutes of the September 22nd, or 26th rather, regular select board meeting.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Open public comment? I don't see any, so moving on to guests. Sheriff Fox, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Sheriff Fox, I reached out to you. I think we just had a few questions at our last select board meeting about, we're under a new fiscal year. We've got the contract is set up a little bit differently than it has been in previous years. So we're just trying to get an idea of what enforcement looks like in town now that we're under this new contract. And then if the board has questions for you past that, then I'm sure they'll give them to you.
Sure. The billing this year, I'm sure you noticed is different because it's, before it was a set fee per month that we bill. I switched all my towns over to hours bill. So whatever hours we were to bill you for, there's not a certain set fee with an expectation of those hours being completed billing now. That keeps us more even. In the end, if I don't get all the hours done, it's a benefit to the town, and it lets me know that what number I have to shoot for to get to where I need to be for the hours that we have for the contract. Keeps it a little cleaner come the end of the year when it comes, end of the billing time.
So Sheriff Fox, I just want to clarify something. So if a town didn't have a contract with the sheriff and somebody called 911 in town, would the sheriff would you guys still respond
No.
to that call? No.
State rules.
The state would, okay. Thank you. That's never been made clear, so I was trying to.
Being that we do have a contract, and if we're on, if there is a 911 call that comes in, state patches it to us.
Okay.
So that's where we would respond, but if we weren't here, then it was not that we just straight to the state.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
One of your officers, I just don't understand the terminology, Gorham Bridge Road, LSA.
So that's a leaving the scene of an accident.
Okay.
I keep trying to press upon them to write in terms where people that don't work with police jargon would understand it. And, writing, accident where someone left would be much easier for you to understand than LSA, but that's the terminology they're used to using, and I'm sure that's why you are seeing that on the reports.
Yep. Thank you.
Have you seen any problems, because wasn't the state, as of October 1st, not going to be dispatching some services?
If you've heard a deadline for that, you're doing better than I am, because I have not heard any date.
Oh.
The dispatch, regional dispatches is what they're calling them, are in the process. Grant money has been available, grant money has been applied for to set up, hopefully, dispatches in local areas versus having Rutland County dispatched by Middlebury or Bennington County. We're trying to get a local dispatch here. Currently, the Sheriff's Department has its own dispatch, so it doesn't affect me either way, whether or not they dispatch from Middlebury, Rutland, or Bennington. I still have my own. I don't have to go over to anyone else. In the process thereof of having my own dispatch, we've been having local meetings on taking regional dispatch, so I'm the one that is being looked at to take over regional dispatch for 32 agencies in the county. We have applied for grant funding in the amount of about $854,000 to get one up and running. They both have been tentatively approved for funding, and the legislature will make their final decision when they get back in session in December, I believe it is. It's funny you mentioned I actually got 2 phone calls on it today asking me when I could start regional dispatch, when I would be able to start dispatching for agencies, a rough timeline, and also about if I had applied for enough money for funding to make it work. To me, the whole thing boils down to there's a committee at this point that is looking into funding sources to long-term fund a regional dispatch, because to them to leave it to me to contract with the town of Proctor of saying, okay, if you want dispatch for your fire department, law enforcement, EMS, your bill is going to be $180,000 a year just for that service. I don't want to get into that part of it. I want the funding to come from the state or a county tax, of however they break it down, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get to that point, because the individual contract for me is just a nightmare to try to balance and there would be 32 individual contracts.
Yeah.
Which is something I don't want to take on. So I don't know where that's going to land. That's also a committee that has to have a report to legislation by the end of November. I've been watching the meetings. I don't see that they're any closer now than they were when they started 10 months ago on trying to come up with an idea, but who knows where that's going to end. But the state is pretty adamant that they want to get out of local dispatching for fire, EMS, and local PD law enforcement. They're going to continue to dispatch for their troopers, winter control, and I think fish and game. But the rest they want to get out of. And they're going to continue to take 911 calls, but then those will definitely be farmed out to local agencies, versus, you know, if they can. So it's a little bit of a trying time and difficult to try to figure out right now as to what direction they're going. But we are in the works to, if we can get funding to take on regional dispatch.
I've got some committee meeting minutes too from the Rutland Regional Emergency Management Committee. We met last week, and someone, I think the chair of that committee, met with us, and that was the one question I asked them, what were the deadlines on it, and they didn't have any.
Yeah, they've thrown numbers around. I think if the state were to get their way tomorrow, they would want somebody to take it over, but they do realize it takes time to get the infrastructure set up and get hooked up to the towers and get your new radio equipment installed. So it is a ways. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a long way out, but it's a year, probably, maybe a year and a half, anyway, to something hopefully.
Yeah.
Something it came up, and I think I forgot to ask at our last meeting, and I can ask you outside of it as well. But we had a meeting with OMIA like 3 or 4 weeks ago about lost trucks. And we've seen quite a few that have managed their way off of Route 3 down onto these local roads. How does the Sheriff's Department manage those situations? I mean, if you got to pull them over, you know, how do you get them weighed and all that to see that they're in violation?
We can issue tickets off registered weight for truck and trailer. And if they have a load on, they should have a weight slip, so we can base it off of that. I just had a meeting with Omnia last Friday, and they're looking to contract with me again for a contract forward truck service. I had one previously, they stopped doing it, and now they want to start it again for the West Rutland Proctor area, where they'll pay me for, I don't know, they were talking about 16 hours a week to do truck enforcement on posted roads and where they shouldn't be. I'm waiting to hear back from them on a finalization of exactly how many hours they're looking at.
Okay.
We had good luck for a year or so, a little more maybe, but it seems to have started again this summer.
Yeah, and I've met with them before about, hey, can you let them know that these roads are not allowed? And they're like, good luck with that. Some of these drivers come here once in a lifetime, and they just take the shortest route that their GPS says. And you know, even with the bridge out on Whipple Hollow Road and West Rutland, they were still circumventing that road by going out through town through the dirt roads into Water Street.
Yeah.
And they're all posted as to no through trucks.
Oh, yeah.
But they continue to try to push it.
Push that, yeah.
Are you fully staffed right now?
For what I have for work right now, if I don't have any sick leaves or call-outs, yes. But
Was there a sheriff in Proctor on Friday and Saturday?
that Friday and Saturday both, I had sick leave days.
If you do take over dispatch in the future, would it be at your present location?
Yes, because I did put into my grant fund, for building renovations, so I could knock down a couple walls to make a big enough space to put 5 consoles in. Like I said, it was tentatively approved, whether or not legislation continues to approve that, I won't know until they get back in session. And I did receive a tentative approval for radio equipment from the HSU, the federal grant funding, for $440,000 for new radio consoles and different stuff with the like to have new radios. So.
Well, I guess I wanted to thank you for helping us with the mobile radar sign there too on North Street and providing us the data. So that's
That's a pretty good job for a part of data record.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We had no idea that you
Yeah,
could
it
go.
doesn't lie. That's what it is what it is with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can go that fast on there, but
Yeah.
apparently they do.
Any other questions for the sheriff? Sheriff Fox, thank you very much for
Just a
stopping
couple
by.
more things real quick. I watched the minutes from the last meeting, and I think Tom mentioned something about a gas surcharge that on the thing. I have assessed no gas surcharges to any contracts. That's just in the contract. Last time I bid it and took on the high gas bills and just left it the way it is. Hopefully we don't get back to a high rate like that again. If it does, I'll have to see how we make out with that.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe someone mentioned about funding for taxes that the department may receive. Did you? I think you may have mentioned that in the meeting last that I saw. Well, I don't get any. I tell you what I get. I got $292,000 from county tax funds, which are designated to where I can use them, and $100,000 of that goes to my bookkeeper and office manager. So now I'm down to $192,000. 35 went through it for a one-time funding to get my driveway resurfaced. So it's a very small amount, and they tell me what I have to use it for, which is to offset training, to offset some insurances, and to offset some dispatch fees for the department. So as far as tax money from the state, I get none. It's county tax, which I guess you could consider state tax, but it's a small amount of funding that we get for,
Yeah.
and I have to use it in these categories, otherwise I can't step outside the lines with it. So.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, just let me know if anything comes up this week, like you know, reach me.
Yeah, man, appreciate the
I'll
help.
do our best to accommodate what you have going on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, we hope that owner thing works out. 'Cause
Yeah, I hope to hear back from them soon, so I can get something. I told them I didn't think I could start until around the 1st of November, but they were okay with that. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Good stuff.
The homecoming was great this weekend and the weather really cooperated. Good turnout.
Been some really pretty foliage.
Yes.
Yes, the colors are good.
All right. If that's it for good stuff, let's move on to Highway Department.
So, Select Board Member Curtis, you don't mind if I just go through this?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah.
So there's a change in alignment for a Class 2 highway, provided in your packets the picture of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it a change, more or less just a change in the mapping. Well, it is a change in the intersection, but it's not gonna be an increase or decrease in mileage. So, V-Trans will update their map and just wanted me to share this information with you all.
I've been here since '72 and I don't remember that ever being.
Yeah, that's another reason why I shared it with you. I wonder if it ever looked like that.
I don't ever
Even your, I mean,
Yeah, almost acting like they had a slip lane or something there.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then, I've been working with, Mr. Thornton a good bit. We've been meeting, very regularly and working out workflow. It's really important that we wrap a few things up here by the end of the year. And, one thing that is important and is kind of right in the public eyes, is, Megan Canucci's son and another fellow made a frame for us to put the sign, the Proctor sign in front of the library, into an upgraded frame. We're hoping to have that installed here in the next couple of weeks. So, we're a little afraid of ledge being there, but we'll find out.
Not there.
You don't think so?
The ledge is back further.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope. Every time anybody starts digging for something, we're always scared of ledge, I think.
We have a lot of room there to work, so
Yeah,
we should be fine.
yeah.
Okay. So at this point, do I have a motion to enter the Board of Water Commissioners?
So moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Field Street Wellhouse Pump Station Replacement Updates.
Well, when we found out that the well went, when we found out that the main well pump went down, we were all in a really big hurry to kind of make sure that we were making the right moves. I went through some older invoices and noticed that, you know, one invoice from a few years ago was 30,000, and then a newer one was 16,000. I always like to play it safe when we're moving fast like that, so I gave you the higher quote. I had a little bit more time to talk to Parker Well Pumps about it, and he was under the impression that we were getting the water side of the pump and a pump motor. And I corrected him and said, we just want a motor. So it's gonna be probably under 20,000 for that.
Great.
So we won't be as high as we thought we were.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we're still expecting the install time of November. And if anything changes with that, you know, you'll be the first to know.
Gorham Bridge Water Project updates.
Pat McGoffin will start rerouting services in the next week or so. Rick Reed is finished. He had to dig out about 25 feet further to tie in 23 Gorham Bridge Road, so it will require a motion to pass an amended cost of $2,125. This work is performed outside the scope of the original contract, the lump sum, but we did factor in per footage in the contract, so we know that it's 25 times 85 per linear foot. So I'm just looking for a motion from the select board to approve that, and the project's complete.
So are we looking for that motion now?
I think we can make it now.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the additional $2,125 for the Gorham Bridge Water Project update?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. That's a nice little project he had done.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was afraid of the price, but that's, in the end, it's not bad.
Well, and it took them 2 weeks, and they've got a lot of equipment, a lot of manpower, so probably would have taken us a bit longer.
Now, it'll be a better situation down the road.
Yes.
By having that done, yeah.
We've, in the course of this summer, we've gotten rid of 2 utilities going through people's property. We got the sewer away from going under that trailer, and now we've got a water line away from going under someone's home, so pretty good.
Yep.
At this point, do I have a motion to adjourn the Board of Water Commissioners and enter the Board of Sewage Commissioners?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Willow Sewer Project update and pay app for approval.
Yeah, so Zaluzny, who's the contractor on the job, got excited and left out of town a little early before they finished the project. They had to come back, and they had about 60 feet of pipe to install. So we had them come back. There was debate on whether they should come back or not. This project is subsidized after the fact, so it's important that we get it done. So because of this, final completion is scheduled at the end of the week. I signed a substantial completion form today with contingent upon pavement and punch list items. So for everyone who might be watching the meeting and lives down there, the road should be paved by the end of this week.
Excellent news. Clean water planning loan application for the WWTP upgrades.
So the environmental service agreement is still under review by the state. The loan application involved financial reports for past and current future status. So I'm hoping to have a copy of that loan application for the wastewater treatment plant upgrades by the end of this month.
And renewal of discharge permit.
So Rob and I had a meeting with the state last week. Every 5 years, we have to update our discharge permit for the wastewater treatment plant. The EPA did a permit quality review and found that the state of Vermont was not providing enough data to the EPA. So in this new 5-year permit, really what it comes down to is we have more testing that has to be performed, which is going to be reflected in the budget. We now have an annual wet sample that needs to be taken. That's the state reps, how much that costs, and it comes out to be about $1,000 a year. And then we have to take, instead of taking these are summer months, instead of taking one E. coli test a month during summer months, we have to take 4. And they're about $25 a pop. So I think our hands are pretty much tied on here with this one.
Okay.
So those are the updates on the discharge permit, and it is right now under the public comment period.
Anything else for sewer? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn the Board of Sewage Commissioners and enter the regular select board meeting?
So moved.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And all those in
Oh,
favor?
sorry.
Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Managers report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The assistant town clerk hiring is over. We have someone who started today and is training under Mary and Celia. The ERAF report. It's time for our annual check-in regarding the Emergency Relief Assistance Fund rating. I've included this in your packet. As you may recall, Vermont's ERAF provides state funding to match FEMA public assistance after federally declared disasters. Eligible public repair costs are generally reimbursed by FEMA at 75%, with the state matching a minimum of 7.5%. The state will increase its match to 12.5 or 17.5 if communities take certain steps to reduce flood risk. An ERAF summary report is attached showing the Proctor qualifies for the maximum state match of 17.5%. This is a great accomplishment, reflects the town's efforts to 1, participate in the natural flood insurance program, adopt VTrans approval road and bridge standards, and 3, annually adopt a local emergency management plan. 4, have a current FEMA-approved local hazard mitigation plan. And 5, adopt a river corridor bylaw. Stormwater master plan updates. The stormwater master plan is under the public comment period. Anyone who has questions regarding stormwater master planning can come speak to me or visit the town website. An advertisement is on the homepage under announcements as well. We'll probably have a member of our planning commission meeting to sit on that committee so that we can put together a good plan in coordination with an appointed member of the town. I've included an executed fuel contract for your records inside your packets there. Beamers and Cedar will both be guests at our October 24th meeting. Beamers will be talking about a potential membership, and Cedar will be talking about their marketing initiative. I've been appointed as the regional rep for the 2022 THERA SPR process. I'm still unsure what THERA and SPR stand for, but I know it has something to do with FEMA. So this is a workshop that Stephanie and I will go to in Killington on Thursday. Speaking of Killington, we had our VLCT Town Fair, and I only attended it for one day, but the one day that I did attend, they had a training on state contracts that we can use, because the state goes out for bids, and then the town can piggyback off of those contracts. It's a really useful and efficient way of procurement. And then we had a meeting at the Marble Museum about the upcoming open house. Judy and I were given a tour by members of the Museum Trust, and we kind of tried to pick their brains about their vision of what the museum might look like here in the next 2 or 3 years. They did admit that there's still a lot of work to do, and before they really start that visioning process, they want as much feedback from the community as they can possibly get. So October 15th, there's an open house from 4 to 7. I've got that information on the homepage of the website. I'll be there, but probably not till later in the evening. And I believe Zion will also be there to talk about what their plans for the building. The budget season's here. I've sent off budget reports to department heads, committee chairs, and we'll work the feedback into the manager's budget presentation in November. We also got our draft FY22 audit back today, so I'll share that with you at our next select board meeting. Regional local commission meeting attendance. As usual, I attended the Planning Commission, Parks and Rec Committee, and TAC, and REMC meetings this month. I haven't made it to a Beaver Pond meeting in a while, but I'll be one in the future. Do you have a Beaver Pond meeting this month, or are they closing down for the winter?
We do have one more meeting, and then in the winter we get kind of sparse, so it's really slow right now, so.
I'll do that. And then I had a manager's lunch in Chester, Vermont. I haven't been out to that side of the state before. It was a really nice ride. And website monitoring and updates, this is just something I keep up with, but something worth noting, we've been having trouble with emails today and Friday. We think we've got it solved. I've been able to answer emails, but Celia has not. So if anyone has sent information to Celia and she hasn't gotten information back today, that's why. Everything should be back up tomorrow, though. And that concludes my manager's report.
All right.
Michael, did I miss something? You said Stephanie and I will be going to I thought you said Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie Burke, who's the emergency management coordinator with the Rutland Regional Planning Commission.
Anything else for the manager? Discussion and action items from the board. Did everybody sign the orders? I think so. Yeah. Sheriff's report. Any comments or questions on the sheriff's report? Okay. Town Highway Emergency Fund reimbursement approval.
Yeah, so just so everyone is aware, the scope of the work on Florence Road was reduced for this project. I do believe the field rep, he was using a new app on his iPad when he took the measurements and everything. So I'm wondering if that's why the project was kind of inflated. So it ended up being well below the cost we thought it was going to be. That it was around $160,000 is what we were awarded for, and we ended up, the total project cost was $86,870. So I'm just looking for a motion for the town match, which is $8,687.30.
So is there a motion to approve the municipality portion of the $8,687.30 to pay for emergency highway repairs on Florence Road?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approved. And discussion of first draft personnel policy review.
Yeah. If you have anything to add to the draft, I'm happy to hear it. You can do it at a meeting, or you can email it to me. We're still waiting on VEMR's to speak with us about the retirement package, so I doubt anything would happen tonight, but I'm all ears.
Comfortable holding off?
Yes.
Any other business to come before the board?
Yes, I had a question. I believe at our last meeting, we talked about Kane Street. A letter had been sent, 30 days had gone by. We were gonna discuss what we were gonna do. I don't see where anything's been done. I mean, the lawn doesn't appear to have been mowed. Garbage cans are still on the road all the time, and junk all over the property. What are our options?
Well, we can, I can send the sheriff over there and we can start ticketing them. And it would be, I do have to look in the policy, but, these are just, estimated numbers, but I think an initial violation is $250 and then $100
I think that's exactly
per
right.
day after that would be the fine.
I'd like to make a motion, we do that.
Second?
Made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye. Yeah,
Would you ask him to check about vehicle registrations over there too? I believe there's quite a few vehicles.
Yeah, I sent them up there 6 months ago and they didn't find any.
Okay, would you mind asking him to check again, please? Thank you. When he's up there.
Yeah.
Any other items for the board?
The other thing we had talked about the last meeting was dump day. I wasn't sure we decided to do anything.
I thought we were looking at doing it in the spring
Yeah,
to keep that transfer station permit
yeah.
current.
okay, good. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's too late to do anything and it's getting expensive, so.
But I think it's worth once a year to keep that transfer station.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or even, maybe even twice a year. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
It does cost us a little money, but, it is used,
Yeah.
those days. Good, let's discuss it in spring then.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's no more other business, is there a motion to adjourn? I'm not here to do it, so.
Yeah.
So,
And a second?
All those in favor?
All right.